I watched Moon Knight and it was kind of a mess. I didn't hate it. It's not terrible. It's no Book of Boba Fett. This show is not terrible. There's a lot of positives to it, but I feel like you can hear the positives from everyone and everyone's gonna say the same thing. So I just decided to focus on the negatives. People seem to like when I do that anyway. This isn't really a review, more just me disassembling some of the bad aspects of the show. But before I jump into it, I would like to commend Oscar Isaac's amazing performance, especially when Mark and Steven are interacting with each other. You legitimately buy them as two people. You forget that it's just one actor. It's incredible. Oscar Isaac has always been one of my favorite actors, and he knocked it out of the park in this. Ethan Hawke is also giving a good performance. But enough positivity, let's jump into the negativity. This is going to be full of spoilers. Do not watch if you care about that. There are fundamental flaws with this show that I have organized into a list. Part 1 is the plot. There are a lot of incredibly dumb plot moments that just feel contrived, and I will go through them in chronological order. The first one is the scarab falling out of Steven's pocket, and subsequently him not even trying to get it back from Ethan Hawke. When he knows where Ethan Hawke lives, or at least spends all of his time, and he was just there, and it's like a 2-minute walk away. He just drops a MacGuffin out of his pocket, which is already stupid. Could you imagine in like any other movie or TV show if someone just lost a plot important like thing by just falling out of their pocket randomly without them noticing? Very dumb. Even worse, he could literally just walk there and beat the shit out of Ethan Hawke and get it back, or just try to follow them. They're like, oh shit, he has a scarab, I guess we gotta go to Egypt and try to find him and like beat up some random street toughs to get information instead of trying to follow them, you know, going to the airport and waiting for Ethan Hawke, looking around. I mean, there's only so many flights to Egypt, especially you would probably get on the soonest one. Anyway, enough about that. There's other dumb stuff to talk about. The court scene with the avatars and the avatars in general. The court scene is laughably stupid. Konchu doesn't present the smoking gun, which is that Ethan Hawke is digging where Ahmed's tomb is and has the beetle and has a bunch of followers. Like, all he has to say is, hey, avatars, go look at him for a second. Just watch what he's doing. Just literally go watch him for like 30 seconds. He doesn't even have to bring it to court. He just has to tell them to watch Ethan Hawke without his knowledge, because he's currently digging for Ahmed. It's just like a stupid plot point. I guess it's to establish what the other Egyptian gods are like. I don't even know why they have avatars. I don't really know the point of them. I'm assuming they have a throwaway line, but functionally in the story, they do nothing. The court scene is pointless. They seal away Konchu, which they could have just had a scene of like the gods deciding to do what they didn't need the avatars. And then in the end, the avatars all get killed. Even when Ahmed is freed, the gods don't seem to care. They never step in and intervene, even though it's a big deal that they're sealing away Ahmed. I know they have a non-intervention policy, but it seemed to be pretty pissed off when Konchu is moving around the moon and shit. Another issue is the ill-defined powers of the Moon Knight suit. He gets throwing moons, which are, I hate the throwing moons. They're not practical as a weapon, but whatever, it's not a big deal. In addition to the throwing moons, he is also bulletproof, has enhanced strength, and can glide. The limits of his physicality / invulnerability is very ill-defined. He will get shot with full auto rifle, but then he gets ran all the way through with spears, and the spears are very effective against him. Bullets don't affect him at all, but bladed weapons are very effective. I guess his Moon Knight suit is the Dune shield. The slow blade penetrates the Moon Knight, but it would have been better with some elaboration so we know what's going on. We know what is actually a threat to him. We know what his limits are. As it is, it's just, he's strong and he's basically invulnerable until the plot doesn't want him to be anymore, and then, you know, he gets down and out a little bit. Episode 3, when they're at the rich guy's house and looking at the map, Ethan Hawke shows up. As far as I can tell, before freeing Ahmed, Ethan Hawke has no powers aside from being able to summon the jackal dogs from Scooby-Doo. So Ethan Hawke shows up. Ethan Hawke is the leader of this cult. Without him, the rest of the cult wouldn't exist, and they probably wouldn't be able to resurrect Ahmed. And Moon Knight could just summon his suit and walk up and kill him, but he doesn't for some reason, or, you know, walk up and disable him. I'll get to that later. No, it's supposed to be like, oh, you know, Layla would be at risk, but immediately after Ethan Hawke leaves, he summons the suit and just picks up Layla anyway and just walks away because he's bulletproof. He could have literally just summoned the suit, picked up Layla, dropped her off somewhere safe, and then killed Ethan Hawke, and then the plot of the show would be over. It's like when you're in a video game and there's a cutscene and you're just like, why isn't the main character attacking the villain? Why isn't the main character doing this? You're just yelling at the screen because it's so stupid. Something that's not necessarily stupid, it's more insulting to the audience's intelligence, is the whole mental hospital stuff later. This is a Marvel show. We know he's not crazy. We know he's not in a mental hospital and, you know, doesn't really have superpowers. It's completely pointless why his, you know, death maze would look like a mental hospital. As far as I can tell, unless, you know, Jake had a bunch of history in a mental hospital, Moon Knight has never been in a mental hospital before. It would have made more sense for it to be some sort of military situation or some sort of Egyptology thing if you wanted to have it relate to Stephen Grant, but it's related to neither of them, and it just serves to have a fake out and be like, whoa, what if it's all in its head? Like, I know it's not all in its head. This is a Marvel show called Moon Knight. You're not tricking me, and I'm insulted that you think you could trick me. I don't know what the purpose of the scenes with him, with Ethan Hawke as a therapist is. I don't even know when or where that's even supposed to be occurring within his mind. It's all just a stupid fake out. This isn't necessarily that stupid, it's just kind of funny to me. The fact that the Egyptian morality system, to prove that he's a good person, he has to feel bad about his past. He has to look at his past memories and feel bad and show them to his alternate personality, but mostly just feel bad. He just has to go, oh, I feel bad. And then Hippo's like, you're a good person now, Charlie Brown. The revelation that Mark was there when Layla's dad got shot is not big enough, and it doesn't really affect the plot. It's kind of pointless. Mark and Layla already don't like each other, so it's not a big betrayal. It doesn't drive a wedge any more than was already there. It's not really revealing any new information to the audience. I mean, it's already heavily hinted early on that he was there. Now, a bigger plot twist and a better plot twist would have been that Jay killed her dad, and that's what it should have been, and I think that really would have made a much bigger wedge between her and even Steven, because, you know, it's still the same body of the person who killed your dad. Part 2, killing people is bad now. Every fictional story operates with its own internal morality. They frame things as either wrong or right based on things like the reactions of the characters, the music, the camera shots, many different things. For example, Batman. Batman never kills people. All Batman stories frame killing as wrong. The morality statement of the Batman universe is killing people is wrong. But if you look at another fictional universe, Avatar. In Avatar, the Na'vi kill people in the defending of their home. This is not framed as a moral failing. This is framed as a good thing, as a necessary thing. And thus far, in the Marvel universe, killing enemies has been displayed as heroic. The most heroic moment in all of the Marvel movies, Tony Stark's great sacrifice, involves him killing Thanos. So, for suddenly killing to be wrong in the Marvel universe is kind of dumb, considering that nearly all of the heroes in the Marvel universe have killed people. Regardless of if you think superheroes should kill people, it's bad writing to suddenly have all of your heroes become bad guys by drastically shifting the morality suddenly. Was Mark not killing people throughout the series? Does he not realize that he's killing people? Does he think throwing bladed things into people until they can't get up anymore is not lethal? I don't understand. I mean, you could argue, oh, it's just enough to disable them, but if they don't get medical attention, they're gonna bleed out. They could have died off screen. Part 3, Konchu is a poorly written and confusing character. I don't really understand Konchu or his motivations. Okay, he sends Mark on missions to kill people, to punish people he views as wrong, but it's all told and not showed. We don't know if the people he's having Mark punish are actually bad, what his standards of morality are, his stated goals to the avatars during the court scene make him seem right, but Mark hates him, and we don't get a good picture of why. All we get is that he hates him because he makes him go on these missions with the threat of making Lila his avatar, which doesn't make any sense because to become someone's avatar, you have to do it voluntarily. It's not like he can force Layla to be his avatar. Also, the god can't force you to do anything. I don't understand what the big deal would be even if Layla was his avatar. Konchu is just this character who's a dick for no reason. He constantly antagonizes Mark for reasons that are unknown and don't really make any sense. He's just sort of this nebulous character we're told a lot about, but we aren't shown anything. We aren't shown his standards of morality. We aren't shown if he's a good guy or a bad guy. We aren't shown why Mark hates him so much, truly. We're just told. Because on paper, Konchu seems right. The show does not do a good job illustrating why he's not. Part 4, Marvel quips. A lot of Steven's quips in this were very annoying. I like Steven as a character, but his quips are bad. I don't really have anything else to say. This was a quick one. Part 5, Layla is not doing a good job sometimes. I don't like to say someone's a bad actor or a bad actress based on one performance. Layla is not doing a good job acting in some scenes. Most of the time she's just passable, but especially the scene where she has to mourn Mark's death. She's looking like she's trying so hard to cry, but cannot successfully make herself cry. And then other scenes, she's just delivering exposition poorly. Not like the worst acting I've seen, but it's enough to take me out of it. Part 6, bad CGI. This show has possibly the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life. This is with the caveat that obviously older shit has worse CGI because the technology wasn't there, but we have the technology now, and this CGI is inexcusable. This car going off a cliff looks like it turns into a JPEG. The jackals look like the monsters from the live-action Scooby-Doo movie. They look terrible, and I have a feeling the reason why they're invisible to everyone else but Mark was to save on the CGI budget. They're like, oh shit, we don't have enough money for CGI on this show. Let's just have Oscar Issac mime fighting a monster for half of the action scene. It's just dumb and bad. The CGI towards the end is fine, but the CGI in those early episodes are terrible. Anyway, I don't want you to think that this is a bad show. Like I said, it's not terrible. It's not like the Book of Boba Fett. There are some very enjoyable episodes and moments. It's like a 50-50 for me. Like, I don't know if I'd recommend it. It's like right on the borderline of recommend and not recommend. I mean, if you're really that interested, watch it, I guess. There's a lot of good things. Oscar Isaac's performance is amazing. I just wanted to illustrate how messy this show is and how much missed potential there was. Anyway, thanks for watching. What's your favorite Marvel Disney Plus show? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Bye bye!